Okay? Okay. Now, I want to explore some more of this stuff. I think I want to explore this. Yes. I want to explore some more of this stuff. Here is a recent Gallup headline. Gallup Daily: government itself still cited as top U.S. problem. So I guess they asked, go ahead and read that. Go ahead and read that. Confidence, Carly. Sorry. I tend to use that a lot. How do they use 99? Gallup never does. I never really see it. There's a reason I never really see it. We'll talk about that in a couple weeks. Sorry. I was 99. Yeah, 95 is extraordinarily common. And there's a very good reason. We mentioned the two different kinds of ways of being wrong: false positives, false negatives. This only addresses one of them. So if you keep increasing confidence, you're essentially decreasing. You're essentially decreasing a type 1 error, but you're ignoring a type 2 error. Look, that makes more sense in a couple weeks when we get into that discussion.
But the plus minus 4 percentage points at the 95.
Go. Right. Sorry, I didn't have anyways.
But saying, I mean,
so,
it's essentially saying it could be a 99%, but we're only, no.
No, you've got it. So what Frankie's saying is, you got to look at this whole thing. Look at the headline: government itself still cited as top U.S. problem. So, Alan?
I was going to say 18% plus the margin of error, the economy could be the top concern.
So here's the problem, right? 21% carries with it a margin of error. The only way that we could say that 21% of Americans say that government is the big problem is if we did what? Ask every single American, the entire population, if you will, if I may. So, in other words, Gallup makes it seem like 21% is little p. It's not, though, is it? It's little p hat, which means if it's little p hat, sorry, that means we have to put a 1 on it. And they've already done it for us by putting it right here, plus or minus 4 percentage points. Yes? So here is the actual confidence interval. It could be as low as 17, as Alan correctly said. Might be as high as 25. You see how we're getting that? With the plus or minus 4%. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, what I think I went ahead and did, yes, I threw a fish in there.
All right.
The fish represents the population parameter of the actual percentage of the government is the worst problem. So it could be anywhere in that tank, yes? Basically, the fish is doing what Alan just said. It might be as low as this, it might be as high as this, it could be anywhere in between. Carly, go.
Is that margin of error just for the 21%?
No, it's for every single category.
Okay.
More on that later. Thank you, sister. Very good catch. Yes, it has to apply to every single sample statistic. Thank you. There's lots of p-hats in this. There's the economy, there's healthcare, there's government, there's whatever else is in there. Yes, there's a bunch of different categories, which presents a unique issue that we'll deal with soon too, but one thing at a time. Yes, it has to apply to all of them, including the, oops, crap, I changed it, including the economy at 18%. You see the problem with the economy at 18%? If the economy is at 18%, that makes it sound like it's a parameter, but it's not. What do we have to apply to the 18%? Plus or minus 4%, which means the 18 might be as low as 14, or might be as high as 22. Problem being, of course, is that means the economy percentage might actually be higher than the government percentage, which means we can't look at that headline up there and say government itself still cited as top U.S. problem, because it might not be. It could be the lowest of all those three, right? 16%. If you apply 4% to that, that goes up to 20. These could come down to 17 and 14. It might be the lowest of all of them listed. Fair enough? Yeah, now you guys are both hitting upon another issue that will open that can of worms later on, once you have these mechanics down cold. Yeah,
Why
you know.
why did they come up with this?
I don't know!
I mean, it's just.
I don't know!
Because most people don't take a statistics class.
I'm guessing. The problem is, things like Gallup exist to constantly produce statistical interpretations. There aren't that many worth talking about. So it's almost like they feel like they have to pump stuff out all the time. It's kind of like CNN. I think Ted Turner started one of the worst things ever when he decided to start CNN. 24-hour news! Do you really think there's that much to talk about? To have 24 hours worth of news every day? The answer is no. 1 hour a day was just fine in the 80s. Turn the evening news on at 7 o'clock, 7 to 8, wrap up the entire news for the week. Holy crap, the duck just pooped! I mean, it's like, what do you need to talk about? There's not that much to talk about. So, the problem is Gallup has to keep pace with CNN, with Fox, with NPR. So they follow the same wire, they dump out these pseudo-meaningless statistics. I'm not saying that the sample didn't say 21% is bigger than 18%, but that's not extrapolatable, if that's even a word. You can't infer anything from that meaningfully. Melanie, you guys have a question? I thought.
Well, if that's what they exist for, is to churn out statistics, then why do they do it poorly? Or
The question is defining the word poorly. I love what you're saying. The problem is they're not statistically correct in what they're saying. The numbers, their sampling methodologies are bomber. They're awesome. The reporting, because they tell us what the percentage points are, is awesome. The biggest contention I have is the headline. That's the problem I have. You can't say that government itself, society is the top problem, because it's not the top problem based on your own numbers. Everything from the headline down, or below the headline down, I love. But it's inconclusive. It's inconclusive. Just report that. Constantly report. The problem is, watch what happens if every news outlet started doing that. Well, once again, it's Wednesday, we still can't tell anything changed. Or better yet, you know what? Instead of doing a sample every 3 weeks, like Gallup often does, do it like once every 6 months and see if there are changes then. Then you can see meaningful change, if there is meaningful change. Melanie, I'm with you. It's frustrating. Now, I'm not saying they always get it wrong. Here's a Rasmussen report, same day. Second week in a row, 29% of likely, well, you read it. I'm going to read it. I'm sorry. You guys can read. I'm going to yell at you.